Gi-hoon, a nervous and sketchy drug dealer, encounters a suspicious police officer during a traffic stop, but is eventually allowed to proceed. In a tunnel, he witnesses a vanishing deer and finds unexplainable handprints on his windshield and side window. He discovers a bloody suitcase in his trunk, suggesting a possible murder. While driving, he sees a girl in a student uniform, and more handprints obstruct his view. Frightened, he opens the trunk and smashes the suitcase, only to find the body missing. Later, an electrical door opens, revealing the disfigured girl's body, which crawls toward him and ultimately kills him with a hammer. The story unfolds with eerie and mysterious events surrounding Gi-hoon's disturbing experiences. In the story, a woman in red, Soo-jin, attends a funeral of a girl who committed suicide, but feels detached from the grief. She encounters a creepy woman in a red dress in the basement, and later sees her in her dreams. Soo-jin discovers a picture of a lonely girl who wanted to be her friend, but ended up taking her life due to loneliness. The ghostly woman in red continues to haunt Soo-jin, and her friend reveals that the funeral was for the same lonely girl. The ghost pursues Soo-jin relentlessly, wanting to befriend her even in death. Despite Soo-jin's attempts to escape, the ghost kills her by dropping her from a height atop a building, fulfilling her desire for friendship in the afterlife. Toothworms is a chilling tale revolving around dentist Chung, who confronts a baffling dental case. Despite extensive tests, he cannot diagnose the excruciating toothache plaguing his patient. A sinister discovery of worms clogging the cuspidor raises his concern. X-rays reveal that the patient's jaw is infested with worms, and consulting another doctor reveals the harrowing truth that this condition can turn a person into a brain-controlled zombie. While aware of the grave risks, Chung decides to attempt to remove the worms to help the patient. During the perilous procedure, the worms reach the patient's brain, causing him to turn into a mindless aggressor, attacking Chung and his assistant. Tragically, both Chung and his assistant also fall victim to the infection, becoming zombies themselves. This nightmarish encounter with the tooth worms leaves a haunting legacy of horror and despair. In the eerie story Necromancy, two best friends, Hye-in and Jun, make a pact that whoever dies, the other will bring their soul back. Tragically, Hye-in takes her own life, leaving Jun devastated. While going through Hye-in's belongings, Jun finds a diary with a necromancy ritual to bring back souls. Fueled by grief and loneliness, Jun decides to perform the ritual to resurrect her friend. During the ritual, Jun accidentally discovers a torn page, warning that the resurrected soul will be demonic. Ignoring the warning, she continues, and suddenly, Hye-in returns with a sinister smile, revealing her demonic nature. Hye-in consumes Jun alive, turning the tables on her former friend. In a haunting twist, Hye-in stares into the mirror, showing Jun's reflection within her demonic form. The story takes a dark turn as the consequences of meddling with the supernatural prove deadly for Jun, leading to a chilling and malevolent reunion with her deceased friend. In The Wall, the protagonist, Ji-young, moves into a new apartment and experiences unsettling knocking noises at night. He encounters a girl in the elevator who he believes is trying to communicate with him through the wall knocks. They develop a unique form of communication, and Ji-young assumes she left her scarf as a sign. However, the following night, the girl's knocks cease, leaving Ji-young anxious to talk to her again. Determined to return her scarf, he visits her apartment, but discovers a grim scene of a messy house and a newspaper, reporting the death of the previous occupants. In a horrifying twist, Ji-young uncovers two dead bodies hidden within the walls. Terrified, he attempts to escape, but the place becomes engulfed in a demonic force. An invisible energy ensnares him, dragging him towards a mysterious portal, sealing the story in a chilling and ominous conclusion. In Closet, the story revolves around Jai Hye, who purchases a second-hand closet at a bargain price. Upon meeting the owner, she finds him creepy and unsettling, but proceeds with the deal. Strange occurrences start happening after the closet arrives at her house. Jai Hye experiences horrifying dreams, and the closet door mysteriously opens at night. In an attempt to protect herself, she creates a bag of black pearls as a shield. However, her protective measures seem futile when something pulls her under the blanket one night, causing the bag to burst. To her shock, she sees the owner grinning at her from inside the closet. A confrontation ensues, and Jai Hye attempts to stab him multiple times, but he remains unfazed. He retaliates, dragging her into the closet with him as the doors slowly close, leaving the story on a suspenseful and chilling note. In Ghost Marriage, Hoon attends a strange job interview where he's asked peculiar questions about his birth time and hanja writing. Despite feeling uneasy, he accepts the job. Unaware, he shares his apartment with a ghost whom he cannot see yet. At work, his colleagues behave oddly, and when he accidentally cuts his finger, the company owner helps him and stops the bleeding. During his work, Hoon discovers a red file containing his personal belongings, which disturbs him, leading him to consider leaving the job. Back home, he unknowingly prepares a meal for his ghostly wife. Meanwhile, the owner is revealed to be preparing for a marriage ceremony with the ghost, who is her deceased daughter. As the ceremony commences, Hoon feels a strange warmth and loses control of his body. He witnesses a ghost approaching and finds himself teleporting in ceremonial attire. The story concludes just before the ghost marriage begins, leaving readers in suspense about Hoon's fate. The Girl in the Mirror centers around you, a beauty parlor girl, who craves to be the most beautiful in the world, and harbors jealousy towards attractive girls. She becomes increasingly aggressive towards them, pushing and harassing them. One day, while in an elevator, she witnesses bloody handprints on the mirror, and her reflection grins sinisterly at her. Back at home, Ju checks herself in the mirror, only to see her reflection transform into a demonic entity. Frustrated by other pretty girls, she takes selfies, but her photos morph into distorted, demonic faces. Terrified, she drops her phone, and a hand emerges from it, scratching her cheek. In pain and fear, Ju collapses unconscious. To her horror, the demonic face picture automatically gets posted on Instagram. The story captures Ju's descent into darkness, as her jealousy and obsession with beauty lead to eerie and haunting consequences in the world of mirrors and social media. In Mannequin, the story follows Chan, who works in a mannequin warehouse, and is warned by the security guard about some eerily lifelike mannequins. One of the mannequins frightens him when it moves its head. Later, he sees the owner of the warehouse talking to a person who is a mannequin with a rotating head. Curiosity leads Chan to research the warehouse online, and he discovers an urban myth suggesting that the owner turns humans into mannequins. He shares this unsettling incident with the guard, who dismisses it as a false story. When they open the main door, the mannequin stands before them. Chan encounters the owner again in the park, and the mannequin begins walking toward him. Frightened, Chan runs and finds himself surrounded by many mannequins. Despite his attempts to fight back, he gradually transforms into a mannequin, losing his ability to move and turning into plastic, trapped in the mannequin world forever under the sinister owner's control. In the escape room, influencers Alexa, Rai, and Young accept a sponsored challenge with a demonic warning. Solving puzzles, they enter a larger section of the library. Rai discovers a black magic book with strange text. They find a key for a door, but it's the wrong one, and Young gets injured by slamming bookshelves. They then encounter a room with demonic paintings and buttons. Rai presses a button on a painting, resulting in a harmful arrow, and his friends get trapped in a cage with body parts above. He acquires a key but can't unlock the cage. Deciding to continue alone, Rai faces demonic ghosts, including his deceased friend's spirit. Surrounded, he tries to escape, but gets buried under bodies and is pulled into a dark abyss by a ghost. The story concludes with mission failed, leaving a sense of despair and the consequences of the escape room challenge.